Good morning, students. Welcome back to our session. In this session, first I want to tell you what we did in our previous session. In previous session, we started our first chapter of geography, that is resources and development. In that session, we discussed about resources, classification of resources, depletion of resources, and finally we moved to the conservation of resources. Means what can be the steps by which we can use our resources in such a way so that we can be able to preserve these resources for future generation. Now, in this session, we are going to cover these subtopics. First is land resource, second is land degradation and conservation of land. Then we will discuss about soil and different types of soil. And at last we will come to know what is soil erosion and what can be the different steps so that we can eradicate this problem easily, so that we can have control over this problem, soil erosion. So here we begin. Today's first subtopic is land resource. Students, as we discussed in previous segment about resources, resources can be in two ways, natural or man-made. So here we are going to talk about our natural resource, that is land resource. First we will discuss about land resource and its utilization. Land resource and utilization. In this subtopic, children, we will discuss about land and how do we use this land resource. Land resource is a very important resource for each and every living thing, even for non-living thing also. How? The first or the major importance of land is it gives us a kind of support. Without land, we cannot imagine that we can have a very good life. Now, except of this importance that it gives us support, we have so many points which proves that really land resource plays an important role in our life. So here first we will write it gives support to our life. If we need to grow crops, we need land, support. If we want to establish any factory or industry, again we need land as a support. If you want to start any kind of occupation, if you want to do any kind of work, really we need land. If you want to build your house, you need land. If you want to rear animals, you need land. How? On the piece of land, you will grow fodder crops for your animals. Your animals can have their food in the form of grass or trees which grow on land. So in this way, we can understand the importance of land as a support for life. Second, for cultivation. As we have already discussed here, that if we need to do agricultural activities, we need land. For the establishment of factories and industries. establishment of factories and industries. Next, for pastures or grazing lands for animals. For building various kinds of buildings like school, hospitals, and so many other things. Next is for moving from one place to another place. We need land. Really, for the process of migration also, we need land. If land is there, we are quite able to move from one place to another place. With the help of this land, we have a very good network of transportation. People are able to move from one place to another place for doing different activities. Now students, here I want to add few more things which are important to know. That is, we have so many pieces of land where cultivation work is not going on from several years. If it's uncultivated more than 5 years, this type of land is called cultivable land. On the other hand, if we have piece of land which is not cultivated from the duration of 1 year or more than 1 year, that is called fallow land. And we have those kind of pieces of land also where we grow the crops more than one time. That type of land is called net sown area or land, you can say. Now we are moving to our next segment, that is land degradation. Children, land degradation means when land is going to be damaged or destroyed. There are several reasons when we come to know that land degradation is going on. And sometimes we, the human beings, are also responsible for this land degradation. How? I shall tell you. First, deforestation. Students, as we know, for fulfilling our different demands, for the fulfillment of our different needs, we always move to this process which is called deforestation. And we know that under this deforestation, we used to cut down trees in numbers. And we know this also, that trees are too important for our life. Or we can say our life depends on these forests or trees totally. Even then, we move to forests to cut down trees so that we can fulfill our requirements, which is very, very dangerous for land. We know that the roots of soils are quite able to hold the soil nicely. Even then, we cut down the trees, which leads to the problem of land degradation. Second is soil erosion. Students, soil erosion is also a major problem for land degradation. Under this, what happens? The uppermost part of the earth, which is called soil, used to sweep away very fast, which leads to the problem of land degradation. And due to this soil erosion, soil loses its fertility also, which is not good for agricultural activities. Now, next is mining work. Mining work is also another reason for land degradation. Due to this process, in different areas, land used to damage badly, which is a symbol of danger for human beings as well as all the living things. Next is rising population. I shall explain you why I am going to include rising population here as the reason for land degradation. Yes, because due to rise in population, really we always get busy to fulfill our needs and finally we damage our land in the form of deforestation, mining work and so many other things. We want occupation, so people who are wealthy, who are rich, they used to establish their factories and industries. And for the establishment of factories and industries, really they move to different areas, especially forest areas. Because where towns and cities are already there, they cannot establish their factories or industries. So they move to these forest areas where they cut down the trees, which leads to land degradation. Now, our next subtopic is land conservation. Here we have to discuss what can be the steps by which we can conserve our this essential resource, land resource. First is just opposite of deforestation, we have to promote afforestation. Afforestation means we have to grow plenty of trees so that these trees can be able to hold our soil and land degradation should have under control. Second is control over mining work. Really, if we want to stop land degradation and we really want to preserve our land resource for future generation, we should have control over mining work. We should minimize this mining work so that land should not be degraded. Next is control over rising population. If we are able to have control over rising population, really it is a sign that we have control over our desires also. If we have control over our desires, so we can be able to preserve or to conserve our land, because as just before a few seconds we discussed here, sometimes we are responsible for land degradation. As to fulfill our demands, we always move to those activities which can be a reason for land degradation, like deforestation and mining work. Control over establishment of factories controlled, that factories or industries should be established in controlled numbers. It should not go on in the society that factories or industries are going to be established in numbers, because really it also leads to the problem of land degradation. Now students, we are moving to our next subtopic, that is soil and types of soil. Here we are going to understand soil and what kind of soil we find in our country in different areas. There are different layers under the earth which is essential for the formation of soil, and these layers can be formed with the help of different pieces of rocks, fragments of rocks, minerals, and so many other things. These different layers help to have the uppermost part of our soil which we find on the top of the earth, which we use for different types of activities, and that is called land. Now we are moving to our subtopic, types of soil. First is alluvial soil. This is the most important soil because it's very fertile. This type of soil we find in northern plains or where rivers cover the areas. In those areas we find alluvial soil. When these rivers flow, these rivers carry so many things with them like minerals, sand, pebbles, silt, and start depositing all these things in different areas. And where these rivers deposit these things, these areas become fertile. Especially soil of these areas becomes fertile, which helps for agricultural activities especially. So this type of soil we find in northern plains, and in south where Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, these rivers flow, in those areas we find alluvial soil, and the soil is very, very helpful for the cultivation activity. Second is red and yellow soil. It's also found in Chhattisgarh, Orissa, in these states, and it is in color of red and yellow. Next is black soil. Black soil is known as rigor soil also, and it is very, very helpful for the production of cotton. The soil is black in color, and this soil we find in Maharashtra, Saurashtra, and different areas. Next is laterite soil. The soil is the name of the soil, especially laterite, is derived from Latin word later, which means brick. And this type of soil we find in those areas where high temperature will be there, and along with that heavy rainfall occurs. And this type of soil we find in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, these kind of states, and this soil helps for the cultivation of tea and cotton especially. Now, next is arid soil. This soil is in the form of sand, we can say, and this soil especially we find in Rajasthan, where bushy vegetation you can find. Last is forest soil. With the help of the word forest, we can easily understand what kind of soil it can be and how it can be useful for the growth of forest. So this kind of soil we find in mountain areas or hilly areas where we get different types of trees in the form of forests, and these forests are very helpful for us in different ways. The people who used to live in these forests or the people who used to live nearby these forests, their life totally depends on these forests. So many things they get from forest are a kind of a blessing for them. Now we are moving to the next subtopic, that is soil erosion. For many times we have observed in our society that people used to talk about this problem, especially those people who get busy in the activity of cultivation or agriculture. Soil erosion. Earlier also, or just because of this chapter, we discussed about soil erosion. Under soil erosion, what happens? The uppermost part of the earth can be swept away easily due to so many reasons. Heavy rainfall can be the reason. Different natural disasters are also responsible for soil erosion. Soil erosion can be into two ways. In the form of gullies and in the form of sheets. Now what happens in first type of soil erosion, means gullies erosion? Under this we find when water flows very fast on the topmost area of the earth, we find that the flow of water makes different types of drains or gullies, kind of pits, which is a main reason for land degradation or for soil erosion. The uppermost part of the earth gets damaged due to this erosion. Second is in the form of sheet. What happens under this type of soil erosion? Water flows in a form of sheet on the topmost area of the earth and then sweeps away